Okay, if you've been Santa Claus for even one season, you know the moment. The child leans in, the music and the noise in the mall seems to fade, and they look at you and they ask, "Are you real?" Every Santa Claus, from the newest volunteer to the most seasoned veteran, will eventually face this most dreaded, beautiful, and important question of all. And in my 25 years, I have never been through a season without answering this question, and often several times from several age groups. So here I offer my philosophy on how to navigate this moment with grace, empathy, and wonder. Now, before I begin, please subscribe to this channel to learn more about how to be Santa Claus. I would appreciate that. Okay, so let's get into it. First off, you do not need to choose between a lie and the truth. Instead, learn how to protect the magic, respect the child's intelligence, and become a guardian of the Christmas spirit all at the same time. Beginning with the fact that Santa doesn't answer this question with a yes or a no. A seasoned Santa is going to reflect on why the question exists. If you've ever felt nervous about this Santa moment, then this video is for you. So let's make sure you're ready to turn a moment of skepticism into a lifelong memory. Okay, as Santa, we're the keeper of the Christmas spirit. So you might say something like, Santa is not just a person, but a spirit of giving that lives in everyone who participates in the tradition. You know, kind of put it this way. Santa isn't a person you see. Santa is a feeling you carry. And, you know, when you ask me if I'm real, you're really asking if the love and the magic we feel at Christmas is real. And the answer to that is always a resounding yes. Now, if that seems a little over the top, you can kind of break it down by the age of understanding of who you're talking to or who's asking the question. And I have like what I consider like 3 levels of response. The first level obviously is for the little ones. You know, it's kind of what I call the subtle deflector. And I'll look at that child and I'll say, well, what does your heart tell you? Or, well, what do you think? This keeps the ball in their court and makes them think about the question a little more. Always make sure whatever they say to you, though, you respond in a very positive manner. You don't want to ever be argumentative. So, now, level 2 is obviously for more curious or the more, you know, little bit older, like in grade school or, you know, around kindergarten and stuff. And you always want to make sure you respect their intelligence without shattering their wonder. Now, for this, what I often do is I focus on the legacy of St. Nicholas and the tradition of anonymous giving. You know, having written several books on Santa Claus and the, you know, and the spirit of Christmas, I can tell you that a little history on your part is going to go a long way to handling this approach. But you talk to them about, how Santa Claus came to be and why he's still around today and that type of thing. And kind of take the thing and make it more believable for them. So, and that's kind of the way I'll handle that. Everybody's going to have their own way of doing this, and you'll figure yours out. Level 3, which I call the guardian secret. Now, this is for the highly, rigidly skeptical. These are for the older kids that are like, no matter what you tell them, they're not going to believe you. So, what you do is you invite them into the secret, welcoming them to the team of Santas who help keep the magic alive for younger siblings and friends and, those that still believe. This allows them to feel grown up and in the know rather than disappointed about whatever comments you're going to make. So now, for all 3 levels and anything else you can come up with, always use the Santa crouch, as I call it. As Santa, don't just talk about words or spout out something that you've rehearsed 100 times. You need to think about the delivery. How you are talking to them is every bit as important, if not more so. If you're looming over a child, a little child, then you're an authority figure, and they're going to look at you as such. If, like we're talking here, you're looking eye to eye, then you've become a confidant. So, they're going to take that more as we're having a conversation and we're expressing ideas. So always use your body language to get your point across. And never, never, never become defensive. As a Santa, you're going to need to expect this question and to take it in stride. If this catches you unawares, it's because you are not prepared to be Santa. If you are defensive or argumentative, you will convince no one of your viewpoint, and you're probably going to cause more damage than good. So, keep that in mind, and don't try to get your point across. Get to where they're in a comfortable form of belief. So, I guess the bottom line in this is there really is no wrong answer as long as it comes from a place of love and keeps the spirit of the season at the forefront. You always need to remember that as Santa, you're not just wearing a suit. We're holding a space for wonder. So don't ever fear this question. Honor it. And treat everybody you meet with a little respect and give them a little bit of confidence in them asking you. So, that's kind of the way I handle it. Now, again, as I said, there's no wrong answer. So if you've got a better way to handle this, I'd love to hear it. In fact, why don't you tell me the creative way that you handle this question, and how often are you approached with this? I mean, like I said, I can never go a season without being asked several times, but maybe you don't get asked as often, or maybe you've got a whole new approach to help with this. So I'd love to hear it in the comments, and I'm sure so would a lot of other performers and parents that are being asked this question, because they get asked too. Is Santa real? And a lot of times the parents are less equipped to answer that question than we are. So anyway, and again, I'm going to ask, please subscribe to How to Be Santa Claus, because I'm going to continue with more professional tips, behind the beard stories, and of course, talking about the magic of the red suit, which we all enjoy. So thanks for watching this, and I hope I've helped in some way, and give me some help back. Thanks so much. Bye.